All right, guys. So in this video, we're going to go over the three main teams that are known in cybersecurity: the red team, the blue team, and the purple team. Now, their meanings are pretty straightforward, but in case anyone still doesn't get the grasp of what exactly they do, I want to try to paint a better picture for you so that you know kind of an idea of their responsibilities and what you can compare the two so that it's easier for you to remember. So first off is the red team. Now, the red team is basically the offensive side of cybersecurity. These are your pen testers or ethical hackers. These are people that are more proactive when it comes to going out and finding problems. They find whatever weaknesses are in your systems, in your applications, and things like that, so you know what to fix. So we're going to use Attack on Titan for this overall video to try to get these different teams across so you have a decent way of visualizing them. So the same way that the red team is proactive about going out and actually finding threats and finding problems to fix, we're going to use from Attack on Titan the Survey Corps, which is the main team of the Attack on Titan universe and the overall storyline. The Survey Corps, they are pretty much your standard soldiers, like in the real world Army or Marines, that are very proactive with going out, finding Titans that may threaten the remaining amount of humanity and take them out. They're also called the Survey Corps, which is short for surveillance, because the whole plot, or one of the main plot points, or the whole cornerstone of the Attack on Titan story, is that they are the last of humanity, or so they think, but they're the last of humanity. So they don't know about the world around them because they know that Titans are out there. Titans are constantly trying to eat and delete humans, like regular humans. So they sealed themselves in a few different walls, the size of essentially a country, right? So they have plenty of space, but they can't really go anywhere. Like humans in general can't go anywhere. So the Survey Corps or Surveillance Corps is the team that goes out into the world and attacks Titans that may be closing in on their walls so that they can try to harm humanity and they take them out. But they also are trying to gather information and get an idea of the landscape around them because they don't know anything about the world. It's been about 100 years since humans have been able to leave the world. Well, actually, no, it's been longer than that, but it's been 100 years, at least at the start of the story, since Titans and humans had interacted until out of nowhere Titans showed up again. And at that point, the Survey Corps had to go kick back into action. But even during that 100-year gap, they were still going out and finding Titans to take out, as well as to gather information about the terrain around them so that they can get an idea of whether or not they truly are the last of humanity. And by their concern, they were. So that's how they relate to the red team. The red team in cybersecurity is very proactive about going out and finding problems and resolving them, or reporting them back to the people that hired them, whether they're contract hackers, so they don't necessarily work for anyone, they work for themselves and they're freelance contractors, or they are employees of an organization and they conduct both internal and external ethical hack sessions for applications, for networks, VLANs, and whatnot, right? So that's how those two measure up. Second is blue team. Blue team is known as the defensive side of cybersecurity. You can do some hacking type stuff here, I guess, but your main thing is that you're actually supposed to fight against the hackers that are trying to enter your network and to cause damage, right? So we can liken this to the military police. I think this is a good matchup from AOT. So the military police in Attack on Titan, they stay in the walls. They don't go out. They usually don't come into contact with Titans. Their thing is mainly keeping the people in charge, kind of like your typical police, but they also are responsible for guarding the royal family. But other than that, it's pretty lax. That's why they're known as the most corrupt section of the three different branches of government in Attack on Titan. I don't know about blue team in real life and in cybersecurity, but military police, that's kind of their whole thing. They're meant to protect what's already there. So anything that comes in, even though the likelihood of them confronting Titans is very low, they do need to be prepared for any type of conflict and to protect the resources or the people that are already there. They don't go out and proactively find issues to report back. They simply deal with whatever comes, and whatever comes, they fight that battle, they win, they keep the people, safe and police people and arrest, traitors and things like that. And that's what they deal with, and that's what they report back to their superiors, right? Now, obviously, in real life, for blue team cybersecurity, I'm sure they're not, super easy like that in comparison to the military police, which they are essentially living in the lap of luxury. So I don't think that's a true equivalent. But other than that, I think just the general oversight or the general overview of both and kind of like the way they function, especially in relation to the red team in the cybersecurity, or especially the way the military relates to the Survey Corps and Attack on Titan, I think those are solid comparisons there. So the last one we're going to cover is the purple team, which obviously is a hybrid of the two previous teams. And I think in terms of Attack on Titan, this matches up pretty well with the Garrison. Now, the Garrison is not as proactive when it comes to going out and finding Titans or finding issues to deal with and to patch up or to get rid of or to delete or anything like that. They're not as proactive, but they very much can come in contact with Titans if and when Titans get close enough. And for whatever reason, the Survey Corps can't take care of the issue at hand, most likely because they've already been deployed out on a mission in itself. So they're responsible for staying in charge of those walls that the humans are sealed into, and making sure that Titans can't break through the walls. Which, if a hole is ever burst through a wall, then the rest of the Titans can easily kind of start rushing into. They may be able to, bigger ones may be able to come through and make an even bigger hole in the wall, or just completely break a whole section of it. And from there, humans are in a lot of trouble. So that's where you have a good amount of similarity from the Garrison as it relates to the Survey Corps in Attack on Titan. The same way it's well, it depends on the situation, but I think Purple Team, you can kind of look at it like that. I don't know if they're necessarily as proactive about pen testing, but assuming they are, they still have additional responsibility of being on the defensive side as well. So that's where it's a solid comparison to the Garrison, because the Garrison can be offensive. If anything, they're meant to do that. But even them being offensive comes from more of a defensive standpoint, in that our proactive force, foot soldiers and troops that hit the ground and actually go out and solve these issues, we don't do that. But we definitely are likely to come across these problems, so we need to know how to handle it when that time comes and still be skilled in taking them down. But even then, we need to prioritize protecting the people around us, the citizens around us that are not in any branch of the military, and kind of have a similar overlap to the military police when it comes to policing them and making sure that they do not get drawn into any conflict related to Titans when they're not trained for this in the first place. Yeah, I don't know which ones between red team, purple team, and blue team. I don't know, just in general. I don't know which demographic is the largest. I don't know which people preferred, or how many people prefer to be red teamers, how many prefer to be blue teamers. And then even for people who have a preference, have the skill set of both. Unfortunately, I don't know that information. If anyone has that information, go ahead and share that with me. I didn't even think about that until recording this. So if there is a place to look that up, cool. Go ahead and share that with me. I'm be very interested in knowing that. But one detail that I'm not sure about is that Attack on Titan, when it comes to the Garrison, which is the equivalent to the purple team in real life, the Garrison is the largest branch of military in the Attack on Titan universe, because only the best of the best can be military police and live that soft life. And then the Survey Corps, you essentially have to be a volunteer, because it's the most, basically, you're not as likely to survive, to be honest. That's just kind of the best way to look at it. So if you're in the Garrison, to be honest, you're kind of considered an average soldier. You can still do great things, but it is kind of like the average route, I guess, versus the purple team. Well, most people I've come across, they're usually on one side or the other. They usually don't have the skill set or experience or desire to bounce between both red team and blue team cybersecurity. It's usually one or the other. And from my experience, I know for me, I'd be more of a blue teamer. I would not be an ethical hacker. I do not want to code like that. I don't want to program. I don't want to be in terminals all day. That's just not me. I'm more on the functional business side of things. I'm not completely against technical know-how, but even then, if I had to be between red team and blue team, I'd rather be a blue teamer, which means by Attack on Titan standards, I'd rather be a military police. So, hey, judge me if you will. But even different than that, in cybersecurity, blue team would be cool, but obviously, if you see in my previous video, I said I'd be a white teamer, which means I would rather go somewhere into the GRC, the governance, risk, and compliance side of things. That's kind of ultimately where I think I want to end up. So, no equivalent to that, in terms of Attack on Titan, but you kind of get the gist. So, red team, very proactive, goes out, finds vulnerabilities, can be contracted for jobs to do that very thing, and can make money off of it in bug bounties. They can work for corporations to do that and things like that. Same thing with the Survey Corps in Attack on Titan. They're very proactive with going out and fighting Titans that threaten humanity, take them out, and also go out into the wild to gather information and then report it back to the royal family when a mission is done. Blue team on the defensive side, cybersecurity, equal to the military police, or can be compared to the military police in Attack on Titan. Military police, they're known as the soft branch in AOT. I don't think that would pass over in real life, but their function is kind of the same, in that The blue team doesn't actively go out and seek those issues. When those issues arise, they're on the defensive and make sure they find the vulnerabilities you're trying to exploit if they don't know about them already and block you out. If they can't block you out, then they have to basically keep doing that push and pull battle, similar to Criminal Minds with Penelope and the guy she ended up dating. I forget his name. They kind of were doing that, but she was trying to force her way in somewhere. He kept blocking her and be like, "You trying to take advantage of this? Nope, I'm a stonewall you." And you kind of play that game. So when you're on the defensive side, that's where you're more on blue team, and you don't actively go out looking for issues. That's where I think the military police is the best comparison. Last but not least, you have the garrison, which in my opinion functions best equivalent to the purple team in cybersecurity, where there's overlap in both. The garrison, a little bit of red team or survey corps type behavior in that they still encounter titans. They still have to deal with these issues, and they still have to be the one to delete them and get rid of them as they come. But they also have similar job responsibilities when it comes to the military police, when it comes to protecting the general population and civilians so that they don't get drawn into any of that conflict as well. So I think Garrison is a unique or a solid equivalent to the purple team in real life cybersecurity. So hope that information was helpful for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't make it too confusing there. I personally think it was a good comparison or just a good idea to play with. But go ahead and give me that feedback in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.